time to go down to the basement. Take that VHS out of its sleeve and get ready for some frights. Welcome. Pull up a seat with Mikey and Natty, and don't forget to turn off the lights, because you are now alone in the dark.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 102 for the Alone in the Dark Horror Podcast. I am Mikey, and I am joined always by Maddie. Maddie, what's going on?
Mike, how are you? We're in the middle of October. This is the second episode we're releasing this month?
Yes.
Second out of 3?
Yes, this is 2 out of 3.
Why? What's third, Mike? What is the third episode?
Oh, God, Matt. We are going to be doing something that we've never done before, which is a live YouTube episode that will, of course, be audio afterwards. We're going to convert that audio. But we're doing a live episode on YouTube on October 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's a Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Yep.
Mark your calendars. Where we are going to be reappraising the film Halloween Ends.
Yes.
We just thought, what, Matt, that it was like...
Well, a couple of years have gone by. Two years or so have gone by now. And it's got a chance to marinate with people, with us, with other fans and stuff. And we really want people to tell us they want to be a part of the show.
Sure.
Because the episode is just not going to be... I mean, it's going to be us talking about the film.
Right.
But the meat of the episode and the best part of the hook of the episode is that people are going to call in and actually discuss their feelings, their true, genuine feelings, whether they absolutely detest this movie to the ends of the earth. And as I call it, they call it what I call the shapeless turd.
Sure.
Meaning that Michael Myers isn't in it that much and that's a piece of crap.
Right.
Or that it's unsung or maybe underappreciated. Mm-hmm. Whatever these people fall, we want them. I said fall, you get that right.
Oh, yeah,
wherever they fall on
Good
this,
job.
right? Before it all ends, Mike, we're going to do a little reappraisal, right? And we're not going to have an answer one way or the other, really, but we're going to get people's true feelings on this movie.
Yeah. I think it's important for us to go back and, like you said, to have people to join us because from what I've heard from so many people, my brothers, friends on Instagram, friends that, from around here where we live, it's like polarizing. People are like either really, really love this movie or they just despise it to a T.
Right.
So we want to see, has anybody's opinions changed?
Right.
It's
important.
It's important. So that's going to be a fun episode. But we are here tonight.
Yes, we are. We're breaking the single movie thing that we've been doing for a while here now.
Yes, which is kind of our new format, so hopefully you're enjoying that. But this is kind of a fun, we're going to every once in a while bring back some of our older style episodes to slip in, and this is one of them, what we started last year, right?
And this will be an annual favorite. I think we're going to be doing this next couple of years.
So this is Tricks or Treats 2.
Yes, it is.
And what we do in this episode, Matt, is we review 5 films generally.
5,
right?
yeah.
And they're all Halloween themed.
They're set on in or around Halloween or the season, right?
And we tell you if it's a trick for us or a treat. So it's, Matt kind of came up with, curated a list for this year, which I think is great. Some are sort of current, some are, some older ones, and some we own, some we don't,
Matter of fact, many of them are pretty modern, pretty
that's true.
Pretty
You're right. This list is.
But the thing that's special about them is we have never really talked about them on the podcast.
Not really. I think we've mentioned briefly a couple of times.
They've come out of our mouths.
I know one of them I talked about when I bought it a while ago. I forget what episode, but I was like, I just bought this, and
But we never discussed it.
No. So we're going to get into it and talk about these 5 films. So before we do, I just want to say we are on Patreon, so make sure that if you like what you hear, you can always jump over on Patreon and support the podcast. And we have many tiers, with one of those tiers being these Halloween goodie bags that Matt and I have sort of curated, I should say, and we're going to send them out to certain tiers on our Patreon. So they're going out this week, so that'll be super fun for people. Besides the extra content that we give on there.
Extra stuff, and then also there's a tier above that you can actually subscribe at where we craft and a special episode around certain films that are your favorites, or that the person requests that they want us to. They're going to give us a series of films, and we're going to craft a whole episode around those films with some kind of a theme that we talk about, and that person is even invited on the pod to talk about it with us on Patreon.
Yeah, and the last one we just did in September was with our one of our amazing supporters, Cami Mosley. So Cami was a part of that. So, and we have actually a new $25 tier subscriber that we're going to be doing an episode.
We're going to be doing that for another episode.
Yep,
exactly.
So it's going to be good. So let's get into the episode, Matt. We're going to be talking about 5 films, whether they're a trick or a treat for us. Hopefully you guys have seen most of these. If you haven't, we will probably be doing some spoilery kind of stuff.
Yep.
Not heavy spoilery stuff, but we might touch on it a little bit. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, just watch them before you listen.
Sure, Matt. So what are we going to talk about first? What's our first film?
So, Mike, we're going to start off with a huge movie. And the only way, realistically, the reason I wanted to do this year is because this is the only way I can get you to watch this movie. Speaking of tricks or treats, I had to trick Mike into watching this movie, and this is how I did it. Mike, we're going to talk about this on the pod, and this is why, and you're going to have to watch it because you can't just go in blind, obviously, and talk generalities. You have to.
Sure, and I did. I did my homework.
And it's Damien Leone's Terrifier 2.
Okay. Now, why are we doing Terrifier 2 and not Terrifier 1? That's my question for you.
Because Terrifier 2 just had so much more of an impact.
So was Terrifier 1 like a practice?
Terrifier 1, I feel like All Hallows Eve, which is where, which I believe is an anthology that Damien Leone did. I didn't actually see it, but I know there's a segment in there that features Art the Clown. That's the first time that ever you see Art the Clown.
That's where
he's in All Hallows Eve.
Okay.
Matter of fact, if you see the artwork of the movie, he's on the cover.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, the makeup's a little different, but
that was kind of a dry run for Terrifier, the original
1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Terrifier 2 is just ups the ante. It just quadruples.
Well, the budget was bigger probably, and the effects they had a little more money for effects and stuff. I heard that didn't Damien do sort of like a Indiegogo or Kickstarter to raise money for the effects?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think he did, and you could definitely see it in this film.
No, it's listen. I think there's some pretty good effects in this movie.
And our good friend Josh Petrino, who's been on the podcast, actually did the digital effects for this film.
Video effects, Kill Josh Petrino. Look him up, Kill Josh Petrino on Instagram. He is such a, not only is he an amazingly talented guy, he's one of the sweetest, nicest gentleman men I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Just have a conversation with him. He just, man, you just want to hug the guy. He's just that kind of guy.
Yeah, and he's been working with Kevin Smith. He worked on his last movie.
Yeah, the 4:30 movie.
Yeah, he helped him with that and with production and stuff. So.
Terrifier 3 also.
Yeah, he's working on Terrifier 3, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but he's working on another movie that's coming out next late fall that I'm super excited about.
Okay.
But I don't want to mention it just in case he's not working on it. But anyway, so Terrifier 2, Matt, from 2022. We're going to save the trick or treat till the end, but it's going to be pretty obvious, I think.
Well... Maybe not.
Maybe not. So the synopsis of this is...
Is there a synopsis for this?
Well, I think there kind of is, right? So this, I guess, Art the Clown comes back from the dead or something?
I mean, it's not even clear whether or not he died in the end of the first film.
I think that from what I've read, I've never seen Terrifier 1.
Oh, I have.
I'll just lay this on the table. But from what I've read, from what people say, is that he did die.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm assuming he's dead because it's that kind of thing, and he's resurrected in this film.
Sure. And we follow who? Sienna, right? And
Sienna.
her brother?
Yeah, before we get something inexplicable brings... I mean, what's cool is he doesn't spend a lot of time kind of resurrecting Art. Art just comes back. Like, these people are talking about him, or they're playing a little thing in the alley or like some street or whatever, and suddenly there's like a lightning strike, and he's just comes out of the fog.
Sure, okay.
And he's there. Like,
okay.
Now, this franchise is never, Mike, it's never going to be known for its storytelling.
Well,
and it's
maybe not.
It's not what it's known for. What it's known for is art.
Yes.
Art is a cruel, sadistic mute, a mime, essentially.
Yep.
But he has a sense of humor, which is pitch freaking black.
Yeah.
He has affinity for killing folks in the most violent and brutal ways you could possibly ever imagine. Damien Leone has already imagined things that I would never be able to imagine, and I got to give the guy credit. He has a hell of an imagination for killing things and figuring out different ways to off people. But case in point for story and acting, Sienna's mom is one of the most over the top.
Oh my God.
I mean, listen, every moment that she's on the screen, she's throwing 95 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
With no change-up pitches.
Right.
No curveball. It's just a fastball right at you, and you better be ready for it because it's coming.
Of course. Yeah, she's way over the top. I don't know where she went to acting school, but not the greatest actress. You know?
Now, I mentioned the gore. If you like gore, and we talked about Salem's Lot a little bit in the last episode, and that it was basically it practically is goreless. This is 180 degrees in the other direction.
Yeah.
That scene with Allie in the bedroom, her Sienna's friend Allie.
Yeah.
I mean, she's mutilated, but kept alive to suffer.
Yeah.
I was so turned off when I first saw this scene. I don't know how you felt watching it.
Oh, it was awful. But we had seen some behind-the-scenes videos.
We had seen very brief little, I would say, photos. Just not a lot.
No, not a lot.
Get Josh in trouble because he wasn't showing us anything.
No.
But he just showed like one photograph to show that he was working on the movie and that it was going to be.
And we could just tell from
gross.
that it was like, holy shit, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could barely. I mean, I actually turned away once or twice.
I did too. I did too.
Here's the thing, though. Terrifier 2, I want to say that it's a pitch black comedy. Is really what it is. Now, I have a really. It has to be though. I mean, I have a tough time seeing it that way, but the cartoonish level of the violence and how far it goes. What else could it be?
I guess.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm positing a
right.
theory here. That's all I can do.
Sure.
I do really see the black comedy when we're talking about a scene, the Clown Cafe scene.
Oh, my God.
That scene, I completely am buying into the dark comedy. It's everywhere there. They have the song, Stop on by the Clown Cafe. She has this whole, like, awesome, catchy thing, which...
Well, it's like a whole musical number.
It is.
Yeah.
And the Art Crispy cereal that the kid is eating,
right?
Which of course is like the man from Night of the Demons, laced with razor blades.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and other crunchy
man,
things. But it's really well done in that scene. It comes across. The tone is certain in that scene.
See, I could have done without that scene, man.
Why?
Because it just, I don't know.
I like that scene. I'm going
Really?
to stand by that scene. I think that's one of the stronger scenes in the film. I think it really...
The Clown Cafe I'm
Yes.
talking about. See, I just thought it was silly, and it's just like, I don't know.
But it gives you more of an inkling as to, I think, what he's aiming for. Now, I can't speak for him because I'm not him.
Right.
But I think Damien Leone is, and I think he puts that there to say, listen, I know this is gross, and maybe it's going to upset some people. Maybe people walking, they'll talk about the walkouts of people throwing up.
And throwing up. And it's like, yeah.
Guys, look at this scene, right? It's gross.
So is he offsetting the gore?
I think he is.
Okay.
And he's like, listen, laugh with me a little bit, because
Right.
this is not meant to be.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it is horrifying. There's horrifying
Yes.
stuff in here. Art scares the crap out of me. Like just the fact that he doesn't talk.
They definitely, they did a good job with Art the Clown, his design and direction, and the guy who plays him, I forget his name.
Oh, like David Howard Thornton.
Really,
wow.
really creepy. Yeah, really well done.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll talk about him a little bit, just briefly. But that torture scene, Mike, I can't discern the tone. He's definitely, to me, he's not doing pitch black comedy in that scene. Now, this is coming from a guy, me, who bought the $40 Grindhouse release of Pieces from 1982.
Yeah.
I don't shy away from those things.
Sure.
But somehow, I'm no prude, but I don't get it in this, right?
Yeah.
He scalps her with adult scissors. He grabs her two fingers on the one hand and like just breaks him in opposite directions, so her whole arm like rips in half or whatever it is. I mean, it's just like, just when you think, and then he grabs bleach and salt.
Oh my God.
And at that point, I'm out. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Some people are loving this.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people.
Right. It's like, it's getting to the point where you feel it. You know what I mean? You really feel it, and it's not like fun gore. It's like, did we really have to go there?
That's why I want the theatrical experience, because I almost want to see I want to watch people reacting to this.
Okay, so that's why you're going to go see Terrifier 3.
I don't know if I can get there in the theater. I honestly don't. I would absolutely though, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I want the experience.
Sure.
Like, I think that's a really unique experience.
And I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people. They're already predicting that Terrifier 3 is going to
it's going to surpass 2, yeah, for sure.
But they're saying it's going to surpass like the new Joker movie. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. I don't get it. You know, look, I understand the younger generation kind of like wants their sweet candy right away. You know, they don't want like a slow build. They just want gore. They just want super gore right away, right in their face. You know.
I'm not saying I'm offended by this. I'm not offended. I just prefer to watch something else.
Sure, I'm in the same boat as you. You know what I mean? It's like shock value. You know,
shock value. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the same way that Pieces was, I guess, back in the day, right?
Guess.
So I can't. That's why I'm saying I'm not trying to. Be like, oh, I don't know. I'm stating my case. This is not my jam necessarily.
Yeah.
But considering, I want to know because we're having a trick or treats episode. We're talking about Halloween centric films. It's a Halloween movie. How do you think it acquits itself here as far as being a Halloween movie?
I think I was so slapped in the face with so much gore that I didn't get the feeling that it was Halloween, except for my favorite. Honestly, if there's a favorite scene for me is when he goes into the costume shop.
Yes.
He's in the costume shop.
Well, come on, dude. Yes.
So the nostalgia in there is great because it's a fucking costume shop and you're seeing all these masks.
But it's really, really good.
It's good. It's really well done. I did like that scene. You know what I mean? I enjoyed that.
That is my other favorite scene in the movie.
So that's really the only Halloween I got besides.
I mean, there's trick or treating.
Well, there's trick or treating. Sienna's making a costume. You know.
Yes.
With
there's the Halloween rave that they go to.
That's true.
So there is some stuff. They go to the fun house at the one point.
Well, the fun house was good. Yeah, I guess there's a couple scenes that sort of.
The Terrifier, that's the name of the film, right?
Yeah.
The ride or the attraction, the haunt, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like you said, the freaking costume shop reminds me of Halloween 4 a little bit.
A little bit.
Like Vincent Drug.
A little bit.
And a little Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I mentioned in the Chris LaMartina episode that we did a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
That Buffy in one episode goes to a costume shop, and it's very much kind of get that feeling of it for you. But Mike, I absolutely love the Sienna character. I really do.
I think she's good.
If there's a standout in this movie besides Art, and David Howard Thornton is amazing, it's her.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sienna does a really good job acting in this. I think you said the mom was over the top. I think the brother is over the top a little bit.
I do. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. He's not
there yet.
Seasoned actor.
Yes,
no.
But Sienna's awesome. I think
But that's what I mean. I would watch Terrifier 3 just to see her do it again.
I guess. Yeah.
And to have a foil. That's Damien Leone's greatest magic trick. You put her in there as a foil to kick his ass a little bit. That skinny freaking dude who's destroying everybody.
Yeah.
And dominating everybody, and then you put her in there to kick his ass.
Yeah.
It's genius.
I'll say my other favorite scene was just like that whole ending with Sienna and Art. You know what I mean? The whole fight sequence was pretty awesome.
It was good.
Yeah.
And it went on for a while.
It was long. Yeah.
Yeah. So drum roll, please. In typical Natty fashion, I am going to break the rules that I've previously established. Because the whole idea of this episode is that you're picking a trick or a treat.
Trick or a treat.
Well, I'm saying this is a trick and a treat, Mike.
You can't do that.
I'm doing it anyway because it's our fucking podcast. Ugh. It's a trick because I'm not going to watch it again.
Okay.
Probably. Once is more than enough for me. I don't want to watch people getting tortured because it doesn't make me feel good.
Right.
In the same way that it does for other people. But Mike, saying that, it might put a big smile on Damien Leone's face, me saying that. I think he would enjoy me saying something like that.
Maybe.
Because I think he wanted to shock and disgust and turn people off. And that's kind of what this is about, right? Like you said, shock value, right? More power to him. Really. And the fact that he self-finances his own movies so that there's no studio interference. Again,
I appreciate that.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. God bless him.
Yeah.
More people are going to follow this model eventually.
Right.
But, I mean, our buddy killed Josh Petrino. I'm glad that he gets to work and put his talent on things like this. Yeah. So I'm glad this movie exists and movies like this exist so he can have a job all the time.
Well, it's going to
show
how talented
is.
Yeah.
Yes. And that Damien recognizes that and hires him.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing but respect for Damien, though, honestly. Yeah. And again, Art's, whether you agree with it or not, whether you like it or not, he's a horror icon. He is the new Jason, Freddy, Michael, whatever we had in our youth.
I hats off to Damien Leone for that, creating that character, because that's always been a thought of mine, like how hard it is to do that, to create that sort of staying point in that character that sticks with generations beyond generations.
Yes.
And you know that Art the Clown is going to be that next thing. You know what I mean? Like he's it. And for this generation of young people, this is what they're into. And it's kind of sad in the sense that they're into this gore and this torture sort of horror.
But it did inject a life into horror. It got keep people into. So if
they
watch this, they're going to watch other things. That's my thing.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right?
I
it's kind of a strange gateway in a way.
Yeah,
it's like the most extreme version of that. But it might get people it gets people talking about horror.
It's true.
So I got to respect it for that. I'm very, very leery and worried about a slew of Terrifier copycats.
Oh,
because I don't know what that would look like.
yeah, that's like a
Like
watered down
upping the
version
ante.
of Terrifier, but like not as not as good. I don't know if that's even possible, but like that's going to be bad. That's going to be really bad.
It would. Like Damien Lone, like he followed his artistic thing, and it followed him here. He got Art the Clown. He did it. But follow your own path. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
Find your own Art the Clown or your own Terrifier, right? Do it
Yeah.
yourself. Don't copy something else.
No, I agree with you.
So Terrifier 2, Mike, you did it. You survived.
Right. It's it's obviously for most people.
So
it's,
what is it for you, Mike?
It's definitely a trick. I'm never going to watch this movie again. It's not my thing. Torture horror is something that I tend to avoid, and that's why you forced me to watch this movie for the episode, and I was
Wow.
happy to do it. I was
Did use force, okay? I coerced you. How about that?
Listen, I was curious. I'll admit that. I was curious to see the movie, and I can see why people enjoy it. I can see why this generation enjoys it. It's just not for me. You know what I mean?
I think that this generation, because we're not from it, right?
No.
So not even the millennials. I'm going like Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
I think they can properly discern the comedy that we can't.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. That's a
Because
good
of all
point,
the
Matt.
TikTok and all of the other stuff that they constantly just soak in every day.
Yeah.
I just think they can figure out, they can see the humor in this,
Right.
that you and I maybe cannot. We're coming from a totally
That's
different
true.
place. We have all this culture capital, and we've been around a long time and seen all different levels of horror, but we don't have what they have. We can't see through their eyes.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
in a way, I think it's interesting to watch it unfold through them. And you mentioned it pretty well before about how this generation's, and I talked about horror icon, and we're giving Mr. Leone all the credit in the world, honestly.
No, I honestly, hats off to him. He's, like you said, he's bringing people into the seats. People are going to movie theaters.
Yep.
There's a hype about it. People are discussing it. We're discussing it. You know what I mean? That's what you want from a movie and from horror. So he's done all that, and I'm happy for him. That's great. You know what I mean? That's good. But for me, it's not a film for me. That's all. And it's not that, I'm not saying it's terrible or it's the worst movie in the world. I'm not. You know what I mean? There are things about it I don't love. I feel like this movie, when we talked about in the past, like movies that look too good almost. This is one of those movies. Again, I don't know what it was shot on, but it's just like too crisp and clear.
Okay.
There's no grit to it. And that's another reason why I don't like it. But hey,
So here's the thing. It doesn't, to me, I always harken back to one movie, and I think of House of the Devil. How that has
Jesus, so good.
some of that grit.
Oh,
Ty West
totally.
found something where it looks great, but it still looks like a film somehow.
It does.
It has that feeling, right?
Yes.
So that's what we can kind of
yeah,
use
I
as
think
a
that's a great
touchstone.
comparison. I'm glad you brought that up because I think that movie is like the best example of how a movie that's shot on digital, digital
Oh, cool. I'm
cameras
glad you agree.
that looks like old film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
great. So, Terrifier 2, can we move off of this one?
We are moving off
Let's
of it,
do it, man.
and we're moving to Bad Candy from 2021.
All right, good stuff. Scott Henson, right, is the director,
Yes,
music video director. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
He's known for music videos. That's where he got his start.
I can see this. Yeah, it's making sense.
Huge fan of the holiday Halloween, and I think that's kind of clear.
Yeah, definitely.
So you want to give us a synopsis of this one, Matt?
So you have DJs Chili Billy, because that's Corey Taylor from Slipknot,
Slipknot, yep.
and Paul, who's Zach Galligan
Zach
from
Galligan.
Gremlins. They're hosting the Psychotronic 66.6 FM Halloween show. That's kind of their version of the WDARK. Like
It's kind of, yeah.
And that's kind of the framing device that leads into these.
Well, that's like the
local
wrap
legends.
around,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like the storytelling device, right, to get through all these like separate stories.
In a town, what's the town's name? New Salem.
New Salem, come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, the first 15 minutes, they throw so much Halloween imagery at you. Like, you talk about Halloween.
Yes.
It's like a visual sugar rush.
It is.
It's crazy.
It's a
You
little
can't
too
say
much.
it's not dripping Halloween.
It is, but it's like almost like, all right,
Look, it's
right.
Halloween, look.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Look, Mike.
yeah, all right. Matt's just throwing a pumpkin in my I have on the table.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
So, cool concept. Story one is young Kyra. She's it's Magic Sketchpad. I remember this one.
Yes, where
I
she
kind of like
draws.
this episode a lot. This segment.
This is definitely one of the ones that I that I liked. Yeah, for sure. She's sort of whatever she draws comes to life.
It's got and it's got cool like Trick or Treat, Michael Dougherty Trick or Treat kind of Halloween vibes.
Well, let's get
with
this
the candles and
let's get this out in the open.
It's not Trick or Treat.
No, it's not.
It's
Trick
not
or
even
treat.
freaking. It's not a pimple on Trick or Treat's ass. I'm going to make that clear.
Scott Henson, I've listened to an interview with him. He is obsessed with Trick or Treat.
Of course he is.
And this is obvious in this film. He wanted to make his own. He's waiting for Trick or Treat 2. He's like, I'm going to make it. That's what he thought he was doing.
That makes sense to me.
Totally makes sense. So you're right. He's definitely trying to emulate Trick or Treat.
He didn't succeed.
But the first one was kind of cool. The girl was cute.
Yeah.
Like the acting in this movie, I would say, is pretty decent for the most part. There's a couple characters that we'll mention that I just couldn't deal with anymore. I just was like, please.
The second segment.
Is that the friends?
That's Mr. Grimsley. Again, who essentially is Night of the Demons old man.
Yes.
Filling his candy with, lacing it with razor blades.
It's like Trick or Treat also with the little boy in the
Mike,
in the candy.
This candy is tasteless. These razors are dull. Okay? I'm not interested in Mr. Frickin' Grimsley.
No.
And what he has to say.
Nope.
So that really leads to drug dealer Charlie in segment 3.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I thought the devil costume was amazing in this segment.
Yeah.
It has the whole scene in the bathroom.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I kind of like this segment just because that devil costume is. I'm so slow. You know how we find like things like Valentine,
Sure. Yeah.
things like Happy Death Day,
Yep.
where it has that really pseudo iconic look, or that
Sure.
mask, right? It's so hard to pull. I'm like, what do you do with a mask? What do you do? This is what you do. Something this simple.
I love simplicity. The one thing you talk about, the other kind of like sort of nod to Trick or Treat or rip off of Trick or Treat is they had almost like a Sam in this, which is like the
They did.
clown.
Oh, they absolutely do.
And it's terrible. It's just not a good, you know what I mean? It's
too obvious.
It's too obvious. Doesn't look good.
It's not an homage. It's a ripoff.
It's a too much of a ripoff. So you have the drug dealer segment, right? Where that whole thing, I don't know about that one.
What about this is a fun one, though. The one where the girl gets dumped by her boyfriend and she works a shift at the morgue.
Oh, yes. This is the one. This is my favorite.
This is kind of
the necrophiliac segment,
yes,
I call it. Yeah.
But it's kind of like a Tales from the Crypt.
It's
kind of like that a little bit. It reminded me of that segment, most of all. It's kind of a Southbound meets like Tales from the Crypt esque type of a segment.
Yeah, totally. I like her. I thought she was a good actress. It's kind of freaky what she's doing. She's like tripping on LSD, but this must be things she's done in the past.
She's grinding. She's mounting.
Well, she's fucking
a corpse.
A dead corpse.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're into necrophilia, give this segment a ride. Definitely. You will dig it. But you're right, Mike. I mean, it's twisted. And there's a little bit of a twist.
There is a good twist in this one, and I do like that segment. That was definitely one of my favorites.
Me too.
For sure. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Again, Bad Candy, the name of the movie, is Sam. It's the character.
Yes, that's
because he weaves his way from segment to segment.
Sure, he's kind of connected somehow.
And he actually figures into one of the segments where he dismembers this guy Jimmy.
Yes,
who's been harassing this girl or whatever, robbing her house or whatever. And it's terror. It's just like, okay, I understand you like Trick or Treat. I love Trick or Treat.
Yes, we all
too.
do.
We all do. But you can't do this.
Right.
We just talked about not having Terrifier 2 copycats.
Yeah.
Make up your own thing.
Sure.
I get it. You're a writer, I'm a writer. We make up our own stuff. We're influenced by stuff, but we don't just say, let me just do that and redo it.
Right.
And name the character a different name. And
like I said, he wanted Trick or Treat 2. He was like, I'm going to make it. You know what I mean? And, he did not make Trick or Treat 2.
I bet you there's one segment here. I bet you it's everyone's favorite.
No.
It's my least favorite.
No, don't.
The one where they put the jack-o'-lanterns on the dudes' heads and they're playing that game.
Where they chase them?
Yes.
That's my least favorite, too.
My least favorite.
Oh, my God.
There's spears. They're throwing huge spears at them.
Dude.
Mike, this is bad candy. It's very, very bad candy.
Terrible.
I bet you that's the highlight for some people.
I would hope not, Matt, because the acting in this one is so bad. Who's the lumberjack guy?
I don't know, Vince.
Dude,
Daryl and Vince.
He's so terrible. It sounds like he's making up lines. Like there's no script, and he's just like randomly like shouting stuff out there.
And there's a bat creature. It's like, is this VHS 1?
Right.
Did they they just too many ripoffs of ripoffs.
Matt, do you know the lumberjack guy who was in another movie called Swamp Ape? Nope, Matt, I'm not making that up.
What?
I'm not making that up.
That's a real name.
That's a real movie. Swamp Ape.
On Tubi only?
I don't know. I'll never watch it. But
or Sci-Fi.
Yeah, because I was like, this guy is so bad he can't be an actor, and I looked him up, and I'm like, there's no fucking way he's the lead in a movie called Swamp Ape.
I tell you what, my second favorite segment is the last one, which has the television ghost hunters.
I like that one too.
You do?
Yeah.
Because it's NUF.
Yeah, it's very WNUF.
Right? It's like, okay. So now I like Trick or Treat. And obviously, Crystal Martinez did a great job with WNUF. So I'm going to tribute that.
We'll just do a shorter version of that and throw it into Bad Candy.
So overall, great Halloween vibes. I think we can agree. There's some really good Halloween-esque, way better than Terrifier, way better than Night of the Demons.
Yeah, there's definitely more.
There's more.
Right, there's more.
I feel like I'm watching a movie set on Halloween. Let's put it that way.
What'd you think of the wraparound? Because that's like the biggest, like the twist of the
it's
story.
Obvious.
It's obvious, and it's
obvious. But they're not bad. They're actually not bad actors. They did a good job. But it's too obvious. It's the writing, though. It's not them. It's the writing.
It's the writing. The one thing I'll mention, because this is something I'm realizing watching all these new horror films, dude. The effects in this movie is so bad, so bad.
Yeah.
There's like at the end with the building on fire and the fire's coming out. It's so obvious that the fire is fake.
Digital fire.
And they're like shouting like, "Oh no, we have to get them out! The building's on fire!" Like it's so obvious, forced dialogue. It ruined it for me. You know what I mean? That whole ending sequence.
I guarantee you, this is going to be somebody's jam. This movie. I'm telling you, there'll be people that really like this movie.
Well, guess what?
So I recommend you watch it. I do.
He wants to make Bad Candy 2.
No, does he really?
He does.
You know what? I say go for it.
Yeah, let him.
Because there were a couple segments that were cool.
Right. There's a couple, so maybe you'll have a few more next time.
But if he put those few with the few in this one, he could have made one really good movie.
Yeah, that's true.
And not had Bad Candy be Sam.
Bad Candy, yeah, that's crazy.
So this is somebody's jam, but it's a trick for me ultimately.
Absolutely a trick for me. So let's take the Bad Candy out of our mouth, Matt.
Mikey, we're going to 2015. Tales
of Halloween. I love it. Good.
I caught up with this so much later than I should have.
Well, this is the one I bought that I mentioned at the top of the episode. This is one that I bought I don't think I even saw it first. I just bought it.
So sight unseen.
Because I heard about it.
Yep.
Because we knew some directors that had worked on some of the segments, and seemed like it was
and Rebecca McKendry was going to be in it. She's mentioned
it was like a powerhouse of horror. You know, like everyone was like, "We're going to make this great anthology movie, Tales of Halloween."
Yep.
And I was like, "Hey, you know what? How bad could it be? I'm gonna go for it."
And it has one of the best opening segments ever.
Good. Yeah, so good.
Am I overstating?
No, I agree. It's really, really good.
Freaking Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth is awesome.
I mean, this is high watermark for anthology.
And it's you can tell the production value is really, really. These are all really passionate filmmakers making these show segments. Yeah. So the plot of Sweet Tooth is what, Matt? There's a little boy trick or treating, right?
Yeah. There's the urban legend. Mm-hmm. But even before, let's finish talking about this. You have the boy.
He's being babysat.
He's being babysat.
Mm-hmm. Babysitter's boyfriend's over.
Babysitter's boyfriend's over. He knows but actually she and her boyfriend both know perfectly. Yes. They can recite the whole Sweet Tooth legend.
It must have been something there.
And they're trying to teach him a lesson.
Yes.
Right?
Don't eat too much candy.
Less selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or they're being selfish because they want to eat his candy.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which they end up doing when he goes to sleep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love that. They talk about it and talk about this moral lesson, then they go and go.
So Sweet Tooth is he was a little boy.
He was.
And his parents were very strict, didn't let him eat any candy, right? And they would always send him to bed.
He trick-or-treated?
Yep.
For them.
Right, leave the candy here. He would go to bed. One night he happens to wander down, and he sees a grotesque scene of his parents, like, fucking with candy, basically.
Mom and Dad were rolling on the couch.
Yeah. Rolling numbers, rock and roll. Got my Kiss
records out, baby.
So he kills his parents and takes the candy out of their stomachs.
Well, he eats all of the candy that they didn't eat first.
Right.
And then
he's
still hungry.
He's still hungry, yeah.
So he goes.
So then he goes in. So now, he disappears, and now he comes back every Halloween, and you're supposed to leave some candy for Sweet Tooth. I think that's such a cool.
It's amazing.
I would see
great storytelling.
Wouldn't you see a full length movie based on that? I would think they could expand that and do a Sweet Tooth movie.
I'm scared of that.
Right.
When it would happen.
Yeah.
But I would be very enticed to see that.
I would see it. I think the story's, great enough for it to be like a legendary character.
But how about going back for a second? Stevie Wayne, fucking Adrienne Barbeau is the radio voice.
She's the wraparound, yeah.
As another great credit sequence.
Love it.
That tells all the names of the stories, the segments that you're going to see.
So she's brought back almost like she's grown up from the fog, and
His
she's
art, yes, and his artwork is amazing in the beginning. It shows you all the different fold outs.
Yes,
It's
clever.
so cool, man.
Yeah.
By the way, score done by Lalo Schifrin, who did the Amityville Horror, the original Amityville Horror
that's
score.
crazy that they got. That's what I'm saying. It's like Legends of Horror making this whole anthology. It's really cool.
It is.
Yep.
But there's even an homage in Sweet Tooth to the Exorcist 3 jump scare, the nurse in the hallway.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot about
It's
that.
almost, you can tell they're like, it's too good. How do we steal it or like borrow it somehow and not make it?
Yeah,
so
they're like,
obvious?
we're just gonna take it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, we're just gonna make it our own.
I mean, the girl walks off camera, and then you see his arms outstretched, and he follows her. So it's not exactly the same, but
right,
it's
but
very cool.
Very, very close.
Very
Yeah.
effective.
Yep. I love that one. So the second one is the night Billy raised hell. Matt.
This is a fun segment, too.
Very fun. Yeah,
It's
and it's
so
a good
fun.
twist too.
It is a good twist.
It fooled me. It fooled me twice.
Me too.
Because the first time I watched it, it fooled me, and then I hadn't seen it in a few years. And then when we decided we were doing this, I rewatched it, and it fooled me the second time.
But the same way, right, that Jordy Verrill follows Father's Day.
Yeah.
You have this following Sweet Tooth. It's kind of a good palate cleanser in a
It
way.
is.
It's
Yeah.
totally different tonally.
Totally, because it's a little comedic, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's over the top
hilarious.
comedy. Yeah, yeah.
And there's even like a song and a montage.
Yes, yeah,
It's great.
great. So this one, just to give everyone sort of, because I feel like a lot of people haven't seen this anthology movie, which is great. So it's good that hopefully we'll get some people, into it. But the plot of this one is like a young boy is going to prank this old guy. Someone entices him to prank, right? Like it's like a sister or something like that.
Yep.
And he goes to prank this guy, and then the guy sort of like pulls him in. He's like, "We're going to go out in the town and prank people."
Exactly.
And then all hell ensues, and then there's something fun that happens at the end where you realize
We're not going to spoil that.
no, we're not.
No, and
So I thought that one was fun.
I do not like the third segment at all. The trick where the girl shows up, she's like trick, and she just stabs the guy.
Yeah.
I can't stand that segment.
I think they were going for sort of like I don't know, like a Tales from the Crypt kind of vibe, maybe, or something like that. But
Really, because I didn't get it.
yeah, it wasn't my favorite either. But there's definitely a twist in this one, in that one too. But it's not a big payoff.
It sucks.
Yeah,
it's a bad twist.
It's not a good one. So
Grim Grinning Ghost, I like.
yeah,
The
that
Mary
one's
Bailey,
good.
because got like
That's
another
the
urban
fifth
legend.
one, I believe. That's, yep.
This Means War is amazing.
That one was probably that one and Friday the 31st.
Friday the 31st.
is my absolute.
So This
favorite.
Means War, and it's almost wordless, which is what's so great about it.
Yeah.
Just two guys across the street from each other.
But they're
setting up their
decorating for
displays,
Halloween. Yeah.
and they're
one
competing.
guy's like classic, like horror,
Classic old school
and then
haunts.
the younger guy's like heavy metal, like
Got the
gore.
lights.
He's like it's like Damien Leone if he decorated his house, right?
John Carpenter's across the street.
Yeah, exactly. John Carpenter's across the street with his classic vampires, and Frankenstein and stuff.
Yeah.
That
But
one's fun.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
And it's got a great ending.
Oh,
It's
such
such
a
a great payoff. We will not talk about it. It's just too good. These
Yeah.
guys, Friday the 31st is so much fun.
so much fun.
I called this, I would have had a better name for this one. I would have called it E.T. the Evil or Dead and the Friday Weensaw Massacre. That's what I would have called this one.
What is the alien keeps saying? Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat. It's really funny. It's good. It's really good because it's basically
good.
It's like Jason fighting an alien. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, Bad Seed I liked too. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's a good one.
With the pumpkin.
Yep.
Cool Twilight Zone ending. Great Twilight Zone-ish ending. There's a couple at the end. I don't know. The Week and the Wicked had zero Halloween feels for me.
Right. No, that one didn't really. Do
And
much
Ding
for me.
Dong had no payoff, so I just didn't appreciate that one either.
Yeah.
I want to know this. How is there no sequel to this movie?
I think all these directors are
in
busy.
9 years.
Yeah, but they're all probably busy. You know how much it had to be so hard to put this together.
But what a labor of love. Like, why not say, hey, let's reunite in 10 years and do another one? It should be due right now.
There's 9 segments in this, Matt.
10, I think.
10 with the wraparound, right?
There's a lot of content here.
It's a lot of content. You know what's so great about this one is that every segment is short. So you could literally just watch one and just boom, be done with it. You know what I mean? This is a great one to put on, like, if you're having a Halloween party. I feel like put it on in the background and just let it loop. You know what I mean? Because there's the imagery's great. Like you said, it's very Halloween based, most of the segments anyway.
Sure.
It's fun. If you're just wanting to watch, like, it's like almost watching like really good Halloween short films. You
It
know what I
is.
mean?
It
Yeah.
is. This is what John Carpenter had in mind.
Yep.
When he was talking about Halloween 3, right?
Yep, continuing that non-Michael Myers theme of anthology and just doing these other films.
So
like,
you own this.
I do.
I have hovered over the buy button,
Why,
add to
Matt?
cart so many times.
Why?
But that's how I know that this is a treat.
Yeah,
Because I love this movie.
Yeah.
I watch it on Tubi constant 100 times.
it's on there right now, right?
I think so.
So that's good. People,
And
can
I
watch
do
it
want to
over
buy
there.
this because I want to support this movie.
Yeah,
But this is an absolute treat, this movie.
Like I said, I bought this movie on a whim, and I was pleasantly surprised. And it's a movie that I don't watch every year, but I will definitely watch every couple of years. Like you said, every 2 years. I would definitely watch this every 2 years.
And the good thing is you don't have to watch all of them.
You can just hey, I missed that segment. I just want to see that one. So it's definitely a treat for me. I really enjoyed Tales for Halloween. It's great. So guys, I definitely recommend watching it this October before Halloween hits this year. Definitely go in and just watch it. At least watch the first one.
You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Watch Sweet Tooth and see if you like that one. It's great. All right, Matt.
We're going just last year in 2023, Mike. It's
who's knocking, Matt?
Natty knocks, baby. Natty knocks.
Okay.
She sleeps with the worms under the ground. Who's that outside? Don't make a sound. Natty knocks 9 times. Don't answer your door and close all your blinds. Hide under your bed or she'll take off your head. This movie is directed by Dwight Little. Who did what, Mike? A little movie we like.
Halloween 4.
Yes. This is the same director as Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. It also stars Danielle Harris.
Right, from Halloween 4.
And horror icon Robert Englund.
Crazy.
And Bill Moseley.
Bill Moseley?
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
What were you going to say, Mike?
You told me about this movie.
I did.
You said, did you know that the director of Halloween 4 made a horror movie? And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, did you know that Danielle Harris is in it? And I was like, really? Did you know that Robert Englund is? I'm like, I'm going to buy this movie.
Yes. Listen, you watch this movie and there's that bridge sequence where they're walking across that rusty bridge.
Yes.
I got Halloween 4 vibes immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is I don't know where this is, but it's so cool.
Right.
Dwight Little just has that keen eye for him and his crew.
Yeah.
That location eye, whatever it is.
Sure.
Because there are touches of awesome locations. The rusty bridge, the haunted house scene that's in the one scene, one part.
Very cool.
But other than that, though, not nearly enough Halloween in this movie.
There's not. Yeah, it's sort of like little touches of Halloween.
It feels like summer almost.
You're right. It just doesn't feel right, especially when the kids are running out and they're stealing the copper wire and
yes,
stuff.
Yes.
It's like,
it's like summer. It feels like summer.
It's,
Above average acting, I will say. The acting was pretty good.
Kids were good.
Bill Moseley's good. England is good.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Danielle Harris is good.
She's great. As a mom, it was nice to see her as a mom.
Yeah. Now, I Britt, the babysitter, the main character.
Oh, she's awesome.
She is, my goodness.
Beautiful, yeah.
God. She's from Jersey.
Is she really?
She went to the Rutgers School of Arts.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
Yes.
I
think that's awesome.
Very cool.
From Westfield, New Jersey. We do thing with New Jersey here, those of you that aren't from New Jersey. We talk in exits off the Garden State Park.
What exit? Yeah,
she's 130. She's exit 135.
All right.
Just to give you a comparison here, Mike is exit 109.
117.
Oh, well, depending on how you want to drive here.
Well, 109 would take you to Red Bank, so 117.
That's how I get there.
Well, 117 is 36, so that gets me right to.
That's true. 117 directly. So she's 20 minutes. She grew up from here.
There you go.
Mike, her boyfriend Rick.
Yeah.
Who makes this Natty Knox thing in the back of his car?
Yes, the back of the truck, which was kind of cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
He's the Brady of this film.
Yeah, he definitely.
Because this movie, I'm going to talk about this for a couple minutes here, and we're going to get into it. It has so many mirror images of Halloween 4 that it wants to be Halloween 4 so badly.
So badly.
So he is Brady. He's hopelessly horny for Britt. I mean, anybody would be. Britt's absolutely drop dead gorgeous. But this guy is this quick draw McGraw. He wants only to spend alone. He wants to be alone with her just so they can seal the deal. And Britt! And dude, Captain Blue Balls is persistent. He is persistent, man.
He is.
But the best part, he's a total tool. He confronts the two kids. Britt watches these two kids, Danielle Harris's children.
Yes.
One is almost her age.
Right.
Wyatt.
One is, he's old enough, probably. Doesn't need a babysitter. But
no.
Yeah,
and Jolie's 10, I guess.
Yeah, his sister's younger.
But at one point he comes back because they had scared her because they didn't call her and she was trying to figure out where they were. And he's like, if you freak her out like that again, fist meets face.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
what a loser.
Wait a minute. Do people really talk like that?
No, that's ridiculous. That's bad. Seriously bad writing. That's not natural writing at all.
Dude, Wyatt's the angriest kid, maybe ever. He's the angry kid Hall of Fame.
Oh,
I get it. His dad and mom are getting divorced. His dad's kind of letting him down. He's cursing every sentence. right?
Yeah, it's a little over the top. It's like I said, it just took me out of it. It's not very
He's
natural.
snapping at everybody.
Yeah, he is. He's totally losing.
Like his friends in the hallway, and like when the scene where like the baseballs fall out of the thing.
Yep.
He's just like he's just F-bombing like in the middle of the hallway in school. So Mike, his phone is broken. That's a big point that's established in the movie. His phone's broken. After the cop pulls Britt, Wyatt, and Jolie over, Jolie confirms in a breakdown everything is going wrong. She's not okay. Wyatt's phone got turned off. So 5 minutes earlier, Mike, Wyatt is snapping pictures of Nathaniel Knox's gravesite with his phone. If his phone is broken, how's he snapping pictures with his phone?
There's a lot of holes in this movie that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Listen, I'm fine with holes, but if you're going to make a big giant point of saying, yeah, my phone's broken, they make it like 6 times.
Right, yeah.
And then he's up there snapping pictures with his phone.
I shot him 6 times.
6 times! Six times!
That's it, yep. Mm-hmm.
We could have somebody running in here and saying that.
Yes, we could.
But Bill Moseley plays Abner Honeywell, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Now, serial killing son of who?
Natty Knox.
Natty Knox, the actress.
But we don't know
actress.
that. We don't know that until the end.
We don't know what? That she was an actress? He's watching her films the whole time.
Yeah, but we don't know that. That's like a plot point. It's
Because it's his mom.
No, the little kid supposedly dies at the beginning, and then all of a sudden...
No, the little kid's just under the bed listening to her mom bang that bald guy.
Right, but Matt, the little kid is gone, and you're supposed to... This is part of the...
I was not tricked by that. I didn't think he was dead at all.
Well, it's obvious. That's what I'm saying. They tried to make it like it was the kid was dead and he wasn't around anymore. But to me, it was so obvious that Bill Moseley was her son.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think they tried to hide that.
You think that's the big plot twist?
That's one of the big plot twists.
Well, that's the plot twist when this movie fails.
Matt, this movie has 8 different subplots of 8 different tones. There's a witch story.
Yeah.
There's a possession story.
There is. There's a slasher.
There's a slasher element.
There is.
It's got too many things going on.
There's psycho vibes.
Yes.
Because he's watching these films of his mother get killed.
Right.
He's got this he's got the Linnea Quigley look. Yeah. He's got these black circles painted on his face.
Right.
And by the way, his facial expressions are awesome.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
How about the note that when he gets the baseball thrown through the window?
The kids throw.
I think the same person that wrote "I Know What You Did Last Summer" notes to Julie James.
It's the same handwriting.
It's the same font.
Yeah.
And handwriting, and it says, "I know what you did." Like, we know what you did.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god. But it's for most of the movie, it's more thriller. It's more like Disturbia.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely. It's definitely got, because they know they're trying to,
And I'm thinking, you're going to love this. That's what my thought was.
Right.
The setup. And what did you say to me when you were talking? Matt.
I know.
Because you hadn't watched the whole thing.
No.
You're like, on the 30 minutes in, oh my god. Dude, how did we not know about this?
You know how you said your finger's been on Tales of Halloween?
Yeah.
I literally pulled it up when I first started watching it.
You did.
And I was getting ready to order it. And then after I started watching more, my finger slowly moved further and further away from my phone. And I was like, there's no way.
So you're giving your hand away the same way that this gives its hand away.
I'm sorry. I had to.
But, dude, I don't know if you know Fade to Black, that movie from 1980. Great.
I don't.
Great movie. And Bill Moseley, serial killer, has to be fashioned after.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
After the character from Fade to Black.
Okay.
I like how his POV when he's looking at Britt switches to like 8mm. Did you get that vibe when he was like looking at her? It switches to like...
Yes.
So, Mike, let's discuss this. There's a scene where Robert Englund,
who has a very small part in this.
Very small part. He's Daniel Harris's boss.
Right.
At the real estate agency. It's the most Halloween scene there ever could be. He goes into Bill Moseley's house, which is a foreclosed house. Nobody's supposed to be there.
Right. Yeah. It's supposed to be empty. And,
Bill Moseley was there because that's where he used to live.
Yeah, that's where his
mom used to live. Mm-hmm. It might as well be the Myers house.
Might as well.
Confronted by Bill Moseley upstairs, Bill Moseley might as well be Michael Myers. Turn the sound off and watch that scene. I'm telling you right now, just picture a shape mask on Bill Moseley's face.
Oh.
It's uncanny. It would be I want to do this. I'm going to turn the volume off. It's such a Halloween scene.
Put the soundtrack on.
No, seriously. But the Halloween 4 soundtrack.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
It turns into Halloween 4 Part 2.
Right.
Natty Knox, the killer, waited for years to come back home. Oh, what? Britt and Jolie's relationship? Rachel and Jamie.
That's true.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
They act just like sisters, but we know they're not really sisters. Callback alert, Mike. Abner's confronted by the other cop in the haunted house. Slips his mask on. The other cop says this line Don't try that Halloween shit with me. They dig up Bucky's line.
They just fucking took Bucky's line. That's ridiculous. You know what? I made a note of that too because I was like, do not take Bucky's line. Like, that's ridiculous.
They used Bucky's line.
Fucking ridiculous.
And is Jolie not supposed to be Jamie?
Oh my God.
She even has the same J name.
Yeah,
Jolie, Jamie. It's the same freaking thing.
True.
She wants to go out and enjoy Halloween. Didn't we watch this movie already?
Yeah.
She gets lost in the haunted house.
She does.
Just like Jamie gets lost in the streets. I can't take it. I can't take it. But Mike, after all this, I'm going to shock you.
Oh no.
I am.
Please don't. Please,
I'm gonna.
Please.
I don't care what you say.
No.
This movie was a treat for me.
No.
Here's the reason why.
Oh, man.
I had never heard of it.
Right.
It came out of nowhere. And it wasn't the most terrible thing I ever watched. It's not a great movie.
No.
By any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But if we're talking about tricks and treats, here I set everything up. And sure, expectation when you look at who made it, who's involved in it, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Robert Englund's good. Bill Moseley's good. Brit's freaking awesome. It has all these Halloween 4 funny parts to it. So it's not maybe enjoyable for the right reasons maybe that the filmmakers intended it to be.
Yep.
But it certainly wasn't it didn't trick me
right.
to the point. It tricked you.
It did.
Because it started off so good.
It's
so promising.
Good. So promising.
And then fell on its face.
Well, like I said, there's like...
But wait, tell why you don't like the end. What is it that soured your experience at the end specifically?
At the end?
Yes.
Well, it's there's too many plots going through the whole movie. It just doesn't make sense to me. You're sort of like staying with Natty Knox's son, Bill Moseley, and then it's Natty Knox comes back. There's like possession elements. It's just like
and then the special effects.
The special effects are so fucking
when you
bad.
finally see Natty Knox.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Did it remind you? Do you remember Mama, the Andy Muschietti movie?
Yeah,
such a great movie. But when they showed the freaking mom, the character at the end on the end of the cliff, whatever. It's this digitized.
It's terrible.
It takes you out of the movie.
That's exactly what it did for me.
I'll turn it off before the ending, and then it would be good.
Yeah, probably. But some of those effects are bad in the beginning of the movie too. It's crazy.
That would bother you probably a little bit more than me.
There's too much going on, Matt. That's my biggest issue with this. The writing is just too clunky. They tried to like have 4 or 5 different subplots. Like, hey, we're going to do this kind of movie. We're going to do this kind of movie. We're going to do this kind of movie. They should have just stuck with the simple story.
And Dwight Little went, we're just going to do what I already did.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to redo this.
I'm going to do this again.
Yeah.
It's been 35 years since I've been on the set of
So, yeah, it's a trick for me, Matt. I was so ready to order this movie. I was so pumped. I'm like, oh, my God, it's a hidden gem. I'm so excited. And then I was like, oh, no. Like, it just...
Well, this doesn't make me right and you wrong, or you right
not.
and me wrong. It's just, this is our taste. And listen, I hear you. I justified why I thought it was a treat.
And you guys should go watch it, too. And this one is also on Tubi, isn't it?
It is on Tubi right now.
Go watch it and let us know what you think, because I guarantee there's some people that didn't know this existed or hadn't seen it.
Let me ask you a question. If the 2 movies were in front of you and you had to watch one of them, and one of them was Bad Candy and one of them was Natty Knox, which one would you watch?
I would put on Natty Knox.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
okay.
It's closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so that leads us to our final film.
Oh, this is some good candy here. Let's get to it.
This is a whopper.
This is definitely a whopper.
This is goobers. This is Raisinets. This is pretzel bites with nacho cheese.
This is all of it. Nachos.
Popcorn with smothered with butter.
My cheddar powder that I put on it. Yeah.
This is 2023's Late Night with the Devil. So Mike has talked about this briefly and on the film, but we never really got into the movie.
No.
So again, go watch the movie before you listen to this.
And I think a lot of people have probably seen this, but if you haven't, this is the best movie to put on for the Halloween season.
It is.
It's very Halloween.
It is. It is Halloween. It feels like Halloween. It's Shudder, pretty much exclusive, right? David Dastmalchian, oh my God.
Amazing actor.
Jack Delroy, Jesus.
I'm so happy for him that that he got to play this role and do something, substantial like this. This is so good.
And, emphasis is on story here.
Big time.
Right? You feel it.
Oh, yeah.
The writing is good. The dialogue's great.
It's not heavy on story either. It's like snuck in just
tons of
enough
dialogue.
Yeah.
But the dialogue tells the story and it does it so well.
So the synopsis, Matt, we should let people know. It's about a late night. This is done almost like a found footage movie, right? So this is a lost tape from a TV show from the 70s, right? Called what's the name of the show?
Night Owls.
Night Owls, sorry.
Yep.
if you like WNUF Halloween special, I guarantee the director probably saw WNUF or heard about it and sort of said, hey,
there's no question.
I can do a better version of this, and tried, you know what I mean? And he did, a different job. It was just different, but it's about this show and this one night where Jack Delroy, the host, has on a guest.
Because it's a fail. Wait, his show is
failing.
Was good and everything, but now his show is failing.
Yep.
So he's pulling this stunt on Halloween.
Yep, he's trying to bring in ratings by bringing in this woman who has this girl who's supposedly
June,
who's possessed by the devil.
Yeah, June's this parapsychologist and author, and Lily is the one that's supposedly having.
And she was sort of rescued from this cult, right? The satanic cult that sort of had like a standoff with the police, and that the house, they all lit themselves on fire.
Yep.
And Lily was escaped and taken in by June, basically.
Yep.
So he's having them on with other guests, but having the highlight of the show is having them on, and they're going to do sort of like a possession presentation for America,
live
basically on TV
on Night Owls. Yep.
So what's cool about the storytelling element of this, man, I don't know if you like this, was the fact that it was like footage from the show, like the live show, and then it cuts to behind the scene footage in between.
Now, I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay.
Only because if this is supposed to be right, so in a way, if you're supposed to stick to a format, it's almost like in A Violent Nature. It doesn't stick to we're following this killer around. It breaks that occasionally.
Sure.
Now I'm not sure. It kind of jars me a little bit and takes me out of it. Nothing took me out of this movie because I really, really like this movie a lot. Really, I do. I have so much affection for it. But I don't know how I feel about it's supposed to be a live broadcast.
Right.
So how would they have the black and white behind the scene?
I get it.
Like if you're purporting that this is a found tape the way Blair Witch was a found tape, right?
Yep.
That Blair Witch doesn't cheat.
Right. They just stay with that. Yeah.
This cheats.
Yeah.
So
what would you?
You're saying you're fine with that?
Well, let me ask you this: what would you prefer? Would you prefer just the show, or would you prefer just the behind the scenes?
No, I kind of love the behind the scenes. I think it adds to the story.
Yeah.
But I'm just not sure my mind whether I guess it doesn't have to. It's just a new different kind of movie. Then
I think you just have to.
It's not totally found footage, though.
You know what I mean? I think it's one of those.
It's just not found
things.
footage.
No,
purely.
it's not purely. Yeah.
No.
It's definitely a storytelling.
Because it does
element.
it more than once.
It does. It does it almost every time they go to commercial.
Right.
That's when it goes to that. Which is
that's rich stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That is rich stuff.
It's important.
It is.
It's definitely.
It tells the story.
Gives a lot of behind the scenes stuff and things that lead into what happens at the end.
But there's stakes, though. There's real stakes, man.
Yeah.
They're built in.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just
real
like the
things
Blair Witch.
happen. Yeah.
We mentioned the Blair Witch. I think that's a good comparison.
It is. It's definitely different,
because something already happened.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And the audience knows that something happened on this Halloween broadcast of 1977, and then you're watching it unfold.
Sure.
And I just think, oh man, it's so goddamn good. The other characters, Chris Stew.
Oh my God, Chris Stew's like
the psychic
guy.
Yep.
And then
Carmichael.
Carmichael is based on a real person. I don't know if you know this. There was a famous guy that used to go and debunk magicians and stuff. I can't think of his name right now, but
he steals the movie.
He's great.
He steals the whole entire movie.
Yeah, he's
now
really, really
Dasmalkian is a fucking pillar of force, but that guy steals the movie.
Yeah, he's really, really.
It's
good.
incredible.
Yeah, who's his like co-host though?
Gus.
Gus, I love Gus.
Gus is amazing.
Gus is best. Gus is like when we talked about Night of the Demons. Gus is like, what's his name? He's literally like, I don't think we should.
Roger.
Be doing this. He's like Roger from Night of the Demons. He's like, I don't think we should be doing this.
So he's the Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson.
Yes, he is.
To Dasmalkian's.
But I
Johnny
love.
Carson.
He's like very like leery about doing any of this. He's like, we're stepping in some weird territories here.
Definitely.
There's a scene with a theremin, Matt, in this movie.
Yes,
that is so awesome.
It is.
It's so cool to have a theremin.
It's almost like a how-to video. How do you work a theremin?
Yes, it's great. Yeah, Matt is sneezing right now. He faked out.
Okay.
Maybe you were possessed. Wait.
No, I'm possessed. I'm possessed. Mike, I have questions for you.
Sure.
And this goes into minor spoil territory, so I don't want to.
Okay, that's okay.
So you have this. First of all, the beginning of the film with the footage of the story.
Well, the intro telling like
the montage of stock footage.
Yes, so cool.
It mentions all about Jack Delroy's affiliation with the Grove. Mm-hmm. This harmless, as they call it, a harmless summer camp for the rich and powerful.
Where it's like a men's only club, basically.
Exactly, where Jack rubs elbows with politicians, captains of industry.
Sure.
It's a place that's even in the beginning, this is in the first 6 minutes of the movie, speculated to have strange ritualistic ceremonies that make or break the careers of its members.
Yep.
Is it too soon to introduce all of that information?
It didn't bother me because
It didn't bother me, but
they didn't spend a lot of time
in
on
retrospect,
They're just like, and there's rumors of, right? Like that's kind of the thing.
I don't know, man. For me, it's this movie is one of the better movies I've seen in the last year. Honestly, It ranks up there. But I'm a little bit like,
was that too much for you?
Maybe they could have trickled another newsreel later on. I don't know. There could have been a way maybe to reveal a little bit more information. I don't know if that just tells you. I don't know if that spoils everything too early. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Hindsight's 20/20. I get that too.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know how I feel.
I could see that being an issue for some people. You know what I mean? And I could see why it would be an issue for you. I don't know.
It's not really an issue, but it's just, do I know now where the film is headed, or do I not? Because it's a big magic trick, and it's kind of like you said. They go past it quickly. They don't hyper focus on it.
Right. Well, they do bring it up again when not Christou, when what's his name is like, hey, could you get me into that group? Like,
yes, Carmichael.
Carmichael's like asking him. He's like, hey, do you think you could put in a good word for me, kind of thing?
Yeah, he's
you know?
a funny dude, man.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Now, do you think? Let me ask you another question. Because reading the reviews of this movie, people love this movie, but some people, not a lot, but some people think it stumbles a little in the final act.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I don't.
I think this is like the one thing for people that haven't seen this film. For me, the payoff is so big and so huge.
It's trippy. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah.
It's shocking in the sense that you know it's going to go where it's going, but you don't know how far it's going to go. And it goes pretty far and pretty heavy.
Yep.
And because the rest of the movie sort of like, that's scary, that's freaky, but it goes places that you don't see coming, and I enjoy that about the film. I really did. Did you?
Yes. And there have been far too many Exorcist ripoffs by this time.
Yep.
We're talking about 50 years ago.
Sure.
This is not an Exorcist ripoff at all.
No, it is not. The fact that there is a possessed girl, that's about the only thing that sort of has anything to do with The Exorcist at all, right?
Yes, but that's it, right? Exactly. That's where you can draw the line. To me, Mike, I don't know why, but this feels like a full-length VHS segment.
Yeah, I could see that.
But like in the best possible way.
Possible way, yeah. I agree with you there. Yep.
So with that, I don't think it's a big, huge surprise that this is an enormous treat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And it is for me too. Like, and I will be honest, when I went into this movie, I saw this in theaters with my son and my wife, who I convinced to go. And you know, my wife Kathleen is not a big horror person.
No.
But I showed her the trailer, and it intrigued her enough, a non-horror fan, to say, "Oh, maybe I'll go see that too." So that, I feel like that gives it some props. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
I had low expectations because I was being very protective. You and I love WNUF.
Yes.
And I could tell that this movie was like, hey, they ripped off WNUF.
And it's so funny, but just really quick, Crystal Martina posted something at one point where he has a still from his movie of this guy in the skeleton suit sitting in the studio audience. And then
there's the one guy with the skeleton suit
sitting in the studio, and he's like, huh. And the way he did it was he didn't trash like a devil at all, because he's such a respectful, amazing guy. But he's like, he put it up there, and I was hysterically laughing, like, yeah, no kidding.
Look, I love Chris. It's great. And that's why I was protective, because you and I, we know Chris, you know, we're huge fans.
Yeah, we got to freaking hang out with him.
We got to hang out with him at the theater in town and did a special screening of his sequel.
Some snacks with him and dinner, a dinner after.
It was great. He was such a nice guy. So amazing. I was protective, and I'm like, nobody's going to fuck with WNUF. Like, don't do that, you know? But then I watched the movie and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like,
it's not. It doesn't go after. It doesn't go for the same aesthetic.
Hey, it's similar in the sense of the storytelling device and the show and stuff. Like, hey, whatever. Yep. But this movie is really, really well done. It is a really fun movie, and it is a really fun Halloween movie. That's the most important part.
It is.
It is. So huge treat for me. Huge treat.
So, Mike, I'm going to say this as a final thought. I got a couple of final thoughts here, and we can wrap this up. I think Tales of Halloween and Bad Candy had the right idea. I think anthology films are the perfect way to think about Halloween.
It is.
Instead of making full length, not that people shouldn't. They should. They should always push your boundaries of imagination.
But the best full length Halloween movie has already come out with several sequels, right?
But you can't say yes, and I agree with you. That's true. But that's not to say that somebody can't come up with another one that's good and different, and not Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, et cetera. But I just think for right now, these short segments, you get to explore so many different topics around and still incorporate Halloween in it.
Yep.
But do it in a creative way that's not going to unjustly and unfavorably compare it to John Carpenter's
Sure.
movie, right?
Yep.
So they have the right idea. Bad Candy didn't get there.
Yep.
Tales of Halloween kind of does. Mm-hmm. But again, 40 years ago, Carpenter talked about Season of the Witch, and he was almost like this freaking Nostradamus who was predicting that this is a really good way to go. And he was right.
Yep.
So I'm going to say that I think we should get more and more anthology films.
I agree.
Like Tales of Halloween 2, bring it on.
I
Bad Candy 2, bring it on. I don't care.
Hey, I'll see it. I'll check it out for sure.
Now, Late Night with the Devil 2, I don't know. I don't know. But listen, watching Late Night with the Devil, it just gives me hope. Above all things.
Sure.
It gives me hope for Halloween set films.
And it gives me hope for, hey, people can still make a really good movie that's unique and different. You know what I mean? And that's exciting to know. Like, hey, it can be done. Like, not everything has been done, right? And that's what's kind of neat about being lovers of movies and lovers of horror and lovers of movies that take place around Halloween.
Yep.
And that's kind of why we were here tonight, which is great. So,
and whether we were tricked or treated,
yeah,
we want you to go out and we want you to watch these movies.
Oh yeah, definitely. Go see them all. You should
go
have
see
your
them all.
Opinion. Yeah.
Terrifier 2, if you haven't seen it, see it.
Oh,
you have to
Matt,
see it.
we're
Everyone's
the
talking
last
about
people.
it, and
we're
you better
the
get
last
on the train.
people that have seen it. I'm telling you, I
Well,
was
wait a
the
minute.
last person that has
You
seen
are,
it.
yes. I was going to say, when it
no,
premiered on Peacock, I watched it.
I'm the last person to have seen it, so you can't say go see it. People have all seen it already.
Well, I don't want to say all. There's got to be some people out there.
Yeah, some people like me, maybe. Who knows? But
Some people like you. So I'm saying, I'm strongly encouraging you to watch all these movies. Mike is too. Keep the jack-lanterns lit. Mm-hmm. Keep supporting Halloween horror films. Trick or Treats 3 is coming to a podcast platform near you next October, October 2025. We
already have our list, right?
Yeah, exactly. And any which way you are, remember, to Mike and I, you're always beautiful.
Love you guys. Listen, join us on October 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Halloween Ends episode. Message us on Instagram. Message us on, you can send us an email at aloneinthedarkpodcast@yahoo.com. Reach out to us on Facebook, YouTube, however you can. Be a voice on that episode. Let's hear what you think of Halloween Ends after 2 years that it's been in theaters. Okay?
Exactly.
All right, guys, we love you. Enjoy the rest of October. Have a great spooky Halloween. We love you guys.
Many sights to see. And when I look in my window, so many different people to be, that it's strange, so strange. You got to pick up every stitch. You got to pick up every stitch. You got to pick up every stitch. Mm-hmm. Must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch.